What's going to happen if the Democrats do take power in 2021? Again, let me be crystal clear. If Democrats control everything, they will dismantle the Constitution. Worst case scenario.
Mr. Reagan.
Yesterday, a little after 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, every major news organization around the world announced that Joe Biden had won the campaign for President of the United States of America. At about 8:30 here in Los Angeles, the city erupted in cheers, and it has not stopped all day. The Trump hate is strong here in Los Angeles. All I've been thinking is these fools have no idea what they have done. They think this is a victory. In reality, they might have just destroyed their own country. Now, we must keep in mind that there are going to be several recounts, there are several lawsuits pending, and there are several irregularities that must be investigated. We still may yet see 4 more years of Donald Trump. That said, this is the most treacherous election in U.S. history. Certainly, most conservatives have lost their faith in the election process. We will never again trust the system to be fair or honest. If Trump's lawsuits, recounts, and investigations fail to turn things around, what are the consequences of a Harris administration with Joe Biden? Let me be crystal clear. The entire American system is at stake. I will enumerate what will happen in one moment, but first, while capitalism is still permitted in this country, I have to sell you something. If you want younger looking skin, more vibrant, more energy, and more youthful looking hair, there's a secret. That secret is Ageless Multi-Collagen. Thanks to Ageless Multi-Collagen, you can look and feel 10 years younger. Just 1 scoop a day, and I take mine with my coffee in my Mr. Reagan mug here every morning. I mean, I have some serious joint issues, so this stuff for me is critical. Collagen is vital for your skin, your hair, your joints, your tendons, your bones, your gut health. Most people don't know that their natural collagen levels deplete about 10% every decade. Supplementing with collagen is crucial for good physical and mental health, and there's no better collagen on the market than Ageless Multi-Collagen. If you don't believe in the benefits of collagen, please look it up. Do the research for yourself. We have the internet for a reason. And look, even though I get these BioTrust products for free, I've actually liked them so much that I've ordered some for my parents because the health benefits are just so valuable. And check this out, you'll also be feeding a hungry child. For every order of Ageless Multi-Collagen, BioTrust will donate a nutritious meal to a hungry child in your honor. So get yourself a bag of Ageless Multi-Collagen today while it's still 51% off. And as an added bonus, you'll get free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to healthwithreagan.com or click the link in the description below. That's healthwithreagan.com. Invest in your health by getting Ageless Multi-Collagen today. I did not expect this. A Democrat victory was unexpected, sure, but the reason for that victory was even more unexpected, at least by me. Conservatives work within the law. Leftists do not. Take the Steele dossier as an example, the FISA warrants, the spying on the Donald Trump campaign. The results of this election were in part due to the efforts of a leftist project known as the Secretary of State Project. And this project was funded by who else but the Emperor himself, Porge Poros. I can't say his name, or this video will instantly be demonetized. But you all know who I'm talking about. Now, in an effort to effect some degree of balance and impartiality, I am going to read a description of this organization directly from Wikipedia. Wikipedia says, formed in the fall of 2006 by Becky Bond and a couple of other guys, the Secretary of State Project was an American nonprofit, progressive or liberal 527 political action committee focused on electing reform-minded progressive secretaries of state in battleground states who typically oversee the election process. They hope to prevent a repeat of Florida in 2000, where the project's backers claimed that a Republican Secretary of State, Katherine Harris, took a partisan role in helping to determine the 2000 presidential election results. The project was funded by George Poros. A notable achievement of the Secretary of State project was the election of Minnesota Secretary of State Mark Ritchie in 2006. Ritchie played a pivotal role in the adjudicating of the 2008 Senate race between Al Franken and Norm Coleman by examining disputed absentee ballots during the Minnesota Senate recount. As we know, he of course ruled in favor of Al Franken. Shocking. After 2010, they say, the project disappeared. Well, it disappeared. That doesn't mean it no longer exists. It just means they haven't been public. This so-called project was developed by a woman named Becky Bond, and that is very important. Becky Bond co-authored a book with Zach Exley. Zach Exley is the mastermind behind the election of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Originally, Exley had planned to flood the House of Representatives with progressive puppet congressmen with a project called Brand New Congress. Eventually, this was rebranded as Justice Democrats. Now, these kinds of projects are always strategies to strengthen the political power of Democrats. And here's the crazy thing. The Secretary of State project has done exactly that. It's possible that this effort has, in fact, facilitated the Joe Biden win, shifting the vote count in his favor, or even possibly facilitating the voter fraud that's currently suspected throughout the swing states. Consider this. The Secretary of State currently in Arizona is a Democrat. Wisconsin, Democrat. Pennsylvania, Democrat. Michigan, Democrat. Actually, in Michigan, their Secretary of State that was elected in 2018, who is a Democrat, she's the first Democrat they've had in 25 years. Coincidence? Maybe. As the Wikipedia article said, the Secretary of State may be able to make decisions in the favor of a particular political party when election irregularities occur. Now, this shouldn't happen. Secretaries of State should make neutral decisions which are nonpartisan and impartial, but we all know that Democrats don't function that way. That's why in 2000, when the election was called for Bush, Democrats thought that Secretary of State made a partisan decision. That's not how they think. And so certainly a Democrat Secretary of State will make decisions that are in the best interest of their party. But it could be far more sinister than that. Election irregularities sometimes occur because of voter fraud. So if you're planning on fixing an election, a critical component would be to have your own people installed as secretaries of state. And here's why I didn't see the writing on the wall, why I did not catch this earlier. Politics is a lot like chess. You examine the placement of all the pieces on the board, you see your opponent move, and you can anticipate what they're planning on doing. However, that's only true if you're playing fairly. It's very difficult to anticipate the next move if your opponent is planning on cheating. Now, because my mind tends to work within the confines of the law, I don't actually expect that others will act outside the law. So when that happens, I'm flummoxed. Now, others are much better about this. They anticipate that other people will cheat. And some expect that others will often cheat. And these people I call cynics. But I, on the other hand, I am an optimist. I'm irrationally optimistic to such a degree that I actually need others to check me sometimes. But you know who knew? Trump knew. Do you remember when reporters kept demanding that Trump concede if Biden wins? They're like, are you going to concede if Biden wins? Why don't you accept if Biden's going to win? Why wouldn't you accept the election? You're going to try to steal the election, they kept saying, right? But somebody had tipped Trump off. They'd said, look, if they do this mail-in voter thing, they're probably going to try to steal the election. So don't concede if Biden wins. And look what's happened. Trump knew. And again, I would never have thought them so low. Pelosi, Schiff, Schumer, yeah, obviously. But not so many Democrat operatives. I mean, this is pretty shocking. But look, now that they've actually tried to steal the election, their desperation is clear. They will never allow Republicans to take power ever again. We've talked about how they're trying to steal the Senate, right? Let's say they do it. Let's say they get Biden in office. Let's say they steal the Senate. They've got control of the Senate. They've got the House. Well, what's next? What are they going to do with all that power? The first thing they're going to do is they're going to pack the court. Why? Because then they'll have Democrats at the Supreme Court, activist judges. They'll have the Supreme Court. They'll have the Congress. They'll have the Senate. They'll have the presidency. They'll have it all. After that, they can secure power even more. They're going to create new states. Why are they going to create new states? Because for every new state that they create, they're going to get 2 more senators, they're going to get more congressmen, and they're going to get more electoral votes. Now, if that happens, we'll never get another Republican president in probably ever. They're going to make Puerto Rico into a state. They're going to make Washington, D.C. into a state. They're going to make the U.S. Virgin Islands into a state, American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands. They're going to make all these states. And this is not just me speculating. They've written articles about this. They've brought this up in Congress. We know that this is their plan because they've announced it to us that this is their plan. They're also going to establish mail-in voting as the standard voting system. They may even abolish in-person voting altogether. And forget about poll watchers. Vote counting will become a closed-door process. Eventually, we'll see the emergence of online voting. There will probably be an app. You're going to just swipe right. It'll just be like picking your next Tinder date. And picking a Tinder date, what an appropriate analogy. Because they're going to try to reduce the voting age to 17, maybe even 16 or 15, who knows? And we won't even get a chance to dissent because social media will silence all conservative voices. The left will prosecute their political enemies. Look at the case of Dinesh D'Souza. You probably know it, but if you don't, look it up. His case was unbelievable, totally egregious. Obama was so unfair to him, right, that when Trump got into office, Trump had to pardon him. Dinesh D'Souza was a political enemy of Barack Obama, and Barack Obama didn't just have him prosecuted. Dinesh D'Souza was persecuted, and his case was not an anomaly, all right? It was more of like a warning to Obama's political enemies. Remember, Obama prosecuted more journalists than any other president in history. And I am convinced, because of the sinister approach the Democrats took to steal this election, I'm now convinced that they will use every trick imaginable, whether legal or illegal, to secure total power in Washington, D.C., and to prevent Republicans from ever getting power ever again. And why? Why would they do this? You know, they used to work within the bounds of fair play, or at least they used to appear to do so. But now they've transitioned. Now it's just vicious criminality, obvious vicious criminality. Why would they do this? Why would they so obviously try to steal an election? Well, firstly, it's because, they believe that Trump stole the election last time. Many Democrats still believe that Trump colluded with Russia, and in, various other ways, he cheated and stole the election from Hillary and the Dems. He cheated them out of power in 2016. This is, of course, not true, but they believe it. And so this has emboldened them to cheat themselves. The thought is, well, they stole power from us. I mean, the power rightfully belongs to us, so we're just stealing it back. They genuinely believe, well, the Republicans are crooks. They steal from us, so we can be crooks and steal from them. It's only fair, right? That's the way that they think. It's crazy. And now, as we've talked about, they're trying to steal Senate seats as well. So we may end up with a Democrat president, a Democrat Senate, and a Democrat House in 2021. And then after they pack the courts, it'll be a Democrat judiciary as well. But I digress. There's another reason why the Democrats are so desperate and so vicious at the moment. It's because they know they're losing popularity. Blacks are voting Republican now. Trump got 20% of the black male vote this year. That's crazy. That is a record for modern day Republicans. And Hispanics are voting Republican. According to an NBC poll, Trump got 32% of the Hispanic vote and 55% of the Cuban vote alone. But as we saw, the polls are way off this year, so Trump might well have gotten something like 70% of the Cuban vote. Who knows? In any case, Trump is breaking records for Republicans getting votes from ethnic minorities all over the map. Gays are voting Republican now. Trump got 28% of the gay vote, according to exit polls. And just think about this. In 2016, he got only 13% of the gay vote. So that is quite a jump. And why is this happening? Why are blacks voting for Trump? Why are Hispanics voting Republican? Why are gays voting for the right-wing candidate? It's because the internet is exposing Democrats for the frauds that they are. These people recognize that Republicans don't actually hate them. The Democrats have been lying to them for years. In fact, Republicans are the party of principles. It's the Democrats who are cheaters and liars and frauds, right? The Democrats keep telling them, we love you gay people. We love you. We're going to help you. Vote for us. We love you black people. We love you. You should vote for us. We're going to help you Mexicans. You should vote for us. They're waking up. They're going, no. You don't love us. You don't want to help us. You just want our votes. And I think that's starting to piss people off. People are done with identity politics, right? They want somebody like Trump, and they want somebody who can just get things done and improve their quality of life. Okay. All of these groups, everybody in these groups, they're waking up to the fact that the Democrats are just a bunch of con artists. And it's funny, when you look at those statistics and you see what high percentages that Donald Trump is getting within these groups, it makes you wonder, if we're gaining so many of their votes, how the hell did the Democrats win the election? Another massive red flag right there. But let's move on. What's going to happen if the Democrats do take power in 2021? Again, let me be crystal clear. If Democrats control everything, they will dismantle the Constitution. The First Amendment, gone. Speech will be curtailed. I don't think they're going to do away with the First Amendment technically, but they've figured out that if they work with private companies who control speech, then they can control your speech legally. That is, they might not make your speech illegal, but they'll facilitate the suppression of it by the social media companies. Church, okay, they're not going to make Christianity illegal per se, but look at the COVID restrictions. Oh, we think you're going to make people sick, so you're not allowed to go to church. They could do this with anything. They could do this with the common cold. They could do this with the flu. Oh, the flu kills a lot of people every year, so you're not allowed to go to church. They could do it. I would not put it past them. The Second Amendment, gone. That'll be gone. What was it that Biden said about taking your guns?
So to gun owners out there who say, well, a Biden administration means they're going to come for my guns.
Bingo. You're right if you have an assault weapon. The fact of the matter is they should be illegal, period.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I don't even think they're going to chip away at it. I mean, maybe at first, but once they get full power, I think they're just going to strip the Second Amendment right from the Constitution completely. It'll just be completely gone. Civil rights, gone. Yes, even civil rights. In California this year, right, they proposed a new law. This is crazy, you guys. This was Proposition 16. Look it up. Thankfully, it failed. But the proposition, okay, get this. It intended to reverse anti-discrimination laws in California. This would make it legal to discriminate using race or gender, etc. And listen, the reason that they wanted to repeal the anti-discrimination laws in California, and I'm not joking, was so that it would be legal to discriminate against white people and against men. Yeah, that's real. And guess who publicly supported this proposition? That's right, future Chancellor Kamala Harris. Of course, the Democrats will rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. They will negotiate terrible trade agreements throughout the world, and perhaps most damaging, they will impose severe environmental and financial regulations on just about every kind of business. And eventually, I suspect that this will all culminate in the nationalization of certain industries, in particular, those related to natural resources and fossil fuels. This, of course, is the goal of socialists. When that happens, kiss goodbye to our amazing country. The American experiment will have ended. The economy will collapse. We will go the way of Venezuela. If that happens, you'd be better off living in Russia. Well, that's it for me. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just that they're going to destroy the country. Good night.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.